Neil, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Um, I wanted to start off and ask you, I mean, when you were initially, I guess, pitched the idea of Gran Turismo, I mean, like, Jan Mardenborough's story, I think, is fascinating because it's, obviously the idea of simulation and reality kind of mixing or whatever.
Mm.
Yourself, looking at your filmography, like, Chappie and even Oat Studio and all that kind of stuff, was there ever a question of like, okay, why do you want me to do this? Like, I mean, did they kind of explain to you what they wanted you? Just because, like, I mean, I think at District 9, like, it's funny. And I'm just wondering, like, I mean, what was the kind of the pitch for them to you, if you know what I mean?
So it's like. Let me just get this straight. Like you did Raqqa, and now you think that you should do a racing film. Like what exactly is the A to B? Yeah, it makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense. Um, I mean, the history of it is like I sold Sony a film that is a lot more like those movies. I sold them a science fiction dystopia that I really want to make that required we were going after a particular actor, and it had drawn out into like months of just trying to figure out schedules, and like I was just like ripping my hair out, so I was going to go do something else. And then they were like, wait, hang on, this film is we want to make this right now, do you want to make Gran Turismo? And I was like, what? Like that makes no sense. I mean, it's a racing simulator. And then I guess that they felt, as the director of Raqqa, I had something to offer. And for me, when I read the screenplay, I was struck by this idea of using a biography to make a video game film that I thought was such an interesting approach. But then also that tonally, the movie was unlike anything that I'd done before, in that it's like genuinely optimistic or inspiring or sort of aspirational. And I wanted to make something that felt that way. It just was outside the realm of what I'd done before. And I feel like it, it, I had been thinking a lot about what kind of value films have and what they're putting into the world. I think I lately have been thinking this about my own stuff. And I was just aware that that as a 13-year-old it would have a positive effect on me, and that was really the reason to sign on to it.
Yeah. I mean, it's, I know there were a couple of shots that were taken straight from like a video game, like you were
Yeah.
replicating it or whatever. I'm wondering, I mean, were there any, or do you, I mean, in your kind of process, I mean, were you watching any films in pre-production to kind of get you on the right track, or do you just prefer to kind of come into it cold and find the kind of the style?
I think pretty much in my whole career so far, I've never consciously referenced any movies ever. Like maybe I should do that more, but like I never ever do it. In this film, I did watch I watched Steve McQueen's Le Mans, and I was sort of, there was something about that. I'd seen it before long ago, but I was like, there was something about it that I felt I needed to watch just for this film. And I was struck by a bunch of things in it, like how raw and visceral and just basically insane that movie is. But also, it's the only time that I can think of where I directly used some shots that are in that movie in this movie on purpose. And it's only three shots. It's a three close-ups on the main drivers before Le Mans, before it begins, is a much more condensed, simplified version of what is in the Steve McQueen film. But other than that, the references for me were the video game, and definitely a whole bunch of sort of X Games, FPV, real life sports, Ken Block, Gymkhana style
Yeah.
stuff. Like that's where I went. Like motocross with FPV drones circling riders. It was like that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. No, you can see that. I mean, it's yeah, you can definitely get the kind of the X Games and the way those hoonigan kind of videos look. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I've got 1 minute left, so I'm going to use it to ask you. And yeah, I know you're probably sick being asked this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What the hell is happening with the sequel to District 9? I love that film, and I'm like, what the hell, like.
Yeah. I don't have any answer. I have no like, I genuinely just have no answer. My brain has been in this movie so much, and it's, you know, the film that I was saying that I sold to Sony, I really want to make that film.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what the future holds. I mean, honestly, I just don't know.
Okay. All right. I've run out of time. Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Let's go show the world. Gran Turismo, based on a true story.
But I won't stop now.